What is going on, everyone? This is both a happy and sad moment for Two Off the Tee on Fantasy Six Pack, their golf, gambling, and DFS show. The sad news is this is the last episode of the season. Football's king, people. I'm sorry, we don't cover fall events, so this will be it. But the happy news is Ryan Mulvey is here, and dude, new podcast is big timing it on us. I saw all those likes and just people raving
Hey,
about the Inside Drive podcast. What's up with that?
it's just one of those things. I am a trophy husband, and I'm just trying to live up to that, up to that hype. That's for sure. But no, it was off to a good start today. Obviously, we had you on as well. Probably gonna have to dial you back a little bit as we progress because it was trying to get you to stop talking at some point is I'm like uh uh I can never find the sweet spot. So eventually I just have to interrupt you and stop you. But hey, those who know you love you for
Oh.
that. And it's all part of the Keith Fleming experience.
Take a key from my wife. Just tell me shut the hell up. Be
Yeah.
like, Key, shut up, okay? I need to get a point across here,
Yeah.
and you're rambling.
Yeah.
Which again, anybody who knows me knows that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Um, and if you're wondering why is this idiot wearing a blazer, it's because we're also going to be covering our 2025 PGA Tour End of the Year awards. And I mean, what better person to do that with than my favorite person in this space, the model maniac himself, Byron Lindique.
Let's
Lindique.
go. Linda Q, but
Lindique.
know,
I think Lindique's actually a
It sounds a little
better
bit like Hideki.
version. I was gonna say it's like what's the badass swimmer, Katie Ledecky,
Ledecky.
ooh,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I don't
winning
mind.
by laps.
Byron Lindique Matsuyama maybe could be how I roll now. I'm
Yeah.
happy with that. I would
You get
love
it.
to hit a golf ball like he does,
Yeah. Absolutely.
Amen to that.
Yeah, but not
Uh,
play like he does now.
it depends which Hideki you're talking about.
Yeah.
He'll be back.
Oh God.
Again, we first of all just want to appreciate, man, Chad. The Falcons season is about to begin. In many ways, I am
That's fair.
dressed for my
That's
own
just fair.
funeral. Okay, so appreciate Chad being here. Appreciate everybody who has supported us this year. We love this show. There'll be plenty of golf content like in the Discord and stuff. We're still happy to talk that. Ryan will, I'm sure, be covering it some on his Inside Drive podcast. Byron, you do content all the way through, right? Are you one of these
All the time,
maniacs?
baby.
Yeah, there you go. It's
my
a lot better insight than you're getting here. I mean, he's a
Oh.
model maniac for a reason. So, plenty of spaces to continue talking golf, but we've got one tournament left, and it holds a special place in my heart, being from Atlanta, Georgia, the Tour Championship, East Lake. Guys, yay or nay on the change in format? Where are you at?
I mean, it doesn't really move the needle for me. Like it's the Tour Championship. I think it's better, I guess, that everybody has a chance to win. But like we talked about today, like the best golfer throughout the entire season may not end up being the FedEx Cup champion. But I think Scottie Scheffler is going to have a lot to say about that. But you could have any of those guys in the field now. And, like we were saying earlier, giving Scottie a three-stroke lead to start a tournament kind of seemed ridiculous. And maybe that's why they went to this format change. But 6 and 1/2 a dozen for me. I like the old format. I like the old format. It was very confusing, but they kept you up to date. But then the other format was obviously a lot easier. And here we are back to, the format that got us here. And then, of course, whoever wins this tournament is your FedEx champion.
We're going back in time.
Yeah, it's kind of like a little circle going around there. Byron, what about you?
What you said, my man. Like, I'm still
Yes.
nay. It's just like, here it is again.
Yeah.
But
Let's
I'm
change
happy to
something.
chat about it and all that. But like it's just, what are they doing? They need to just, I don't know. It's just like we're not changing anything properly. Like significant. But whatever, not a big deal. We'll watch some golf. Scottie's playing.
I'm convinced after last week, Scottie Scheffler is bored, and he is trying to find as many ways as possible to win tournaments and keep engaged. So last week, new caddy. This week, he's like, you know what? I know I'd have a huge lead in this thing. Just throw that away. I'll still kick everybody's ass. I'm good with it. Wouldn't it be great if that was Scottie Scheffler and he was like saying things like that?
Yeah, that'd be. I mean, he could easily do it given with the way he's been playing. He earned that right.
Yeah, there's the cartoon where like a lion is playing with a live mouse in his paw,
yeah,
like
kind of dangling it. I think that was the Lion King, actually.
The Lion King, yeah. And it's like he'll let the mouse run away, the missed 2-footer.
That's
100%. Up again with the quick chip in on 17, and now the mouse is right back where he wants it. Like he's playing with his food at this point. I think he's spot on.
That was Scar in the Lion King.
Scar, yeah,
100%.
Yeah, that's the first person I think of when I think of Scottie Scheffler as Scar from the Lion King.
Well,
so
definitely not Mufasa. That's for
sure. Definitely not. It's a familiar venue, but also a new venue because pretty extensive project for Eastlake. They have not done a lot of renovations in recent years. This is a golf course known for tight fairways, really difficult rough, very long, very firm, and fast greens. I've had the fortune of playing Eastlake about 6 or 7 times in a corporate event the day after the Tour Championship, and I cannot tell you how good these guys are. Like, the rough is so bad. They have multiple caddies, not to carry your bags, but just to help you look for your balls when you miss fairways because you can't freaking find them. And these guys are hitting greens from that are rolling about 13 on the stent. Like, they're so good. And the other thing, too, that you can't really see on TV, that course is extremely undulated. The highest point in Atlanta is the par 5, and I get confused because they swapped
it used to
the
be
nines.
the fifth,
yeah. Right? So now it's the
fifth, 14th now, I think. Right? Yeah.
So
the downhill, and it's a par 4, plays for a par 5 for, the members and when there's tournaments out there. But yeah, that's an intimidating tee shot. I've never played it.
It's the par 5, right?
You're at the very top of the hill. Yeah. Woods all down your right, maybe some houses over there too, and then left is just your other golf holes that aren't really, conducive for hitting a shot back over. I've never played it, but I've been to the Tour Championship 3 or 4 times.
It's unreal. And also, again, if you ever go to the Tour Championship, it is a true walk.
Yeah.
To walk that golf course, I highly recommend if you have the resources, get into one of those tents. Drink your cocktails. You'll literally be 2 feet from the action on a green. That's way better than trucking it all over that golf course.
It is a walk.
The changes again. So that means who kind of knows? We're kind of in uncharted territory. Byron, are you still leaning into, course history with guys, or do you kind of throw that out the window with something like this?
For the most part, it's not going to be that different. I won't imagine, so if you've played well, you're probably still going to play well, but I'm not going to keep that as a holy grail. If Xander was playing this week, I don't think I would have been that excited about, his course history, but that's also because he's playing like ass, but that's another point to discuss some other time. But no,
fat and happy, man. 2 majors. I keep telling people a lot of these guys, they get fat and happy really easy, and that's what separates the Tigers and the Schefflers.
Yes. Also, I don't know. I wonder how Scottie would have come back from a rib injury, but
that's fair.
Still, Scottie's won 5 times. Xander has not had a top 5 this year. Anyway, I just want guys that are playing well at Memphis. And last week, I think it's just they've set the schedule up for the playoffs that it's just ball strikers paradise. If you are hitting your golf ball well right now, I'm willing to take a gamble on you with the putter.
Brian, you got anything to add there?
I mean, the meat and potatoes of the golf course is still pretty much the same, right? What they just lengthened it, made some different angles and stuff like that, from what I understand. So I would lean, if guys like Byron was saying, if they've historically played well at the venue, I don't know if these changes will affect that stat too much because, if you're comfortable at a golf course, you're comfortable at a golf course. And if you're comfortable at Eastlake, which is so damn difficult, like you said, you obviously have some pretty good confidence there when it comes to East Lake. So that's why, like, I could see, as much as I hate to say it, you can see a guy like Rory winning this week because he has played so well at East Lake year after year after year, winning. He's won the FedEx Cup when nobody even really expected him to win the FedEx Cup and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I mean, obviously, if you like the venue, I would maybe have a little weight on there, but like Byron said, maybe not the holy grail of what I'm leaning towards.
Two things. First of all, I can't believe that of all venues, East Lake is like, we need to make it tougher. I think that they took to heart the extra strokes that guys were starting with the last few years and are like, okay, we can't stand seeing people 20 something under because like that's not going to happen this week. Don't worry about that starting a level par. And then the second thing that's really interesting, Rory, I'm telling you, I've been there during one of his wins. Super, let's go wrestling here. Super over with the crowd. Like, I mean, frigging uber over. If it came down and the gods bless us and we get the Rory Scottie showdown on Sunday, who is that crowd rooting for? Because I honestly don't know.
That's a good question. I think they root for whoever's giving them the most excitement. How about that?
So you could just say Rory.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Scottie's
Scheffler's like, you want to watch me hit it pin high all day? Because that's what I'm going to do.
Rory's going to make double the amount of birdies and double the amount of bogeys in that round. Like that's it's just
splash an eagle in there on 18 for a couple of the rounds. And
I also just don't think Rory plays well with Scottie. I think it's the only alpha that Rory can't out alpha. Like it's super weird.
Styles make matchups though, right, Byron? And there's nothing more intimidating for somebody like Rory, who may have a higher fifth gear than anybody in the world, that to watch somebody just ride around in third gear all day and be like, yeah, touch that. See if you can catch that. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, the first two rounds of the BMW, what was Scottie like 10 shots ahead of Rory after 2 rounds or something? Like
quickly, yeah.
I'm exaggerating a little bit, but you know what I'm saying.
It was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot.
You're just watching them play. It's like, are they playing the same course? Like this is world number 1 and world number 2, and it's not even remotely close, to compare each other, and it just doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, weird stuff.
Do you think Rory has motivation to beat Scheffler in this to kind of maybe knock the narrative down for a little bit, because he really hasn't done jack shit since the Masters? So,
and you know what? He ain't ever got to do jack shit again. And
That's
again,
true.
Fat and happy in golf is a bad thing. And Rory is the fattest, happiest guy on the planet. He is a made man. 6 guys in the history of the game have accomplished what he accomplished at Augusta. Forget the fact that he's only won 5 majors, and the other guys that have done it have won more than that. But Rory can now always say, until the next guy does this, I was that guy, right? Like it was Tiger, then me. You can talk about all these other people. They didn't win all 4 majors. You can talk about Arnold Palmer. You can talk about all these great players. I'm Rory McIlroy. I'm a Grand Slam champion. So I don't think he cares. I think that's part of the issue, kind of like what happened after 2014 when he won those 4 majors in a 2-year period. And you could kind of tell he's like, okay, I'm good for a while.
Yeah. Well, you just hope he's got a little more fire and underneath the cape than that. But at least he doesn't have to listen to Phil asking him what's for dinner on Tuesday anymore during a Masters week. He can flip that back to Phil and say, 4? All 4? Okay, we'll see. But anyway, I digress.
I want to add that just because I like to kick Phil, again, that tweet was so bad about will Scottie Scheffler win. My hot take, he won't. Just for the record, Phil, he has now won more times since you tweeted that than you did in any single year your entire career. So suck on that, Phil. You're an asshole. And I stand by that. So I hate saying this as a degenerate, but for DFS and betting, let's pump the brakes this week, okay? Like, there's only 30 guys in the field, so the DFS is obviously just super difficult to differentiate. And then again, on the betting, I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm recommending Scheffler to win and Rory to top 5, like bets and odds that I would never do. But it's 30 guys, and it's like, do I really believe on this golf course those guys are not going to be like right there in the mix? You think that's a fair attitude, or is it screw it, let's just get nuts?
I'm going without Scottie in my markets. I don't do that often, but at this point, it's just like 30 guys eliminate the dude that's holding like 40%, 50% of the win equity this week is like, cool. I'll take significantly, this similar numbers too. They're not like, if you're going high up, they don't decrease that much, and you're taking out a massive variable, from the equation there. So I'll give the without market a gamble. I've got 3 guys out there.
Yeah, I think if you're going to bet somebody besides Scottie, and like you said with Roy to top 5, Keith, if your book that you use can do a Scottie without, I think that's definitely the way to go. Just simply on the betting card this week, 100%.
Byron, get right into it, because I want to know who are those guys you got for outrights.
It's ball strikers. Ben Griffin, 25-1. I mean, this dude, the only time he's lost with the driver was at the last week, I think. It's been insane. Whatever. Someone has just recently lost with the driver, but it's been very, very good with the driver. The irons have been. This dude is just like a model of consistency on the ball striking front, and he's a Bermuda dude. So I'm all down on the Bermuda side of things. He hasn't come close to winning a tournament in the last couple of weeks, but he's been flirting with top 10 pretty much every week. Like he's there. So he just needs something. He needs to see a couple putts drop early, or not choke on like a bowl of creatine and go 6 over par on the first 3 holes.
By the way, amazing. Like amazing stuff.
What?
Amazing candor.
Yeah.
He bricked that 2-footer for like the third
he
or fourth
did.
putt.
He's like, holy shit, I feel like my heart's about to explode. And he admitted that.
Yeah.
I saw some guy comment on that post like, oh, he's never played hungover before. Which was it's like, yeah, buddy, that's how you feel sometimes. But
or taking a little bit too much Adderall early in the morning. We've all been there.
Exactly. You think you got it figured out. You don't. 25-1 also for someone that's there and thereabouts in a field like this, 30 people without Scottie Scheffler. This dude's just won, and he's not afraid of the moment. He finished unanimously second place to Scottie Scheffler at the Memorial. So that I would not be shocked if that happens again this week. Great golf course for him. JJ Spahn, same situation. Amazing ball striker, 18-1. Like without Scottie Scheffler, cool. How many times I would not mind JJ Spahn losing in a playoff to Scottie Scheffler this week, because he's lost twice now, right? If he won his 2 playoffs, he's won the Players, he's won the US Open, he's won the BMW Championship this year. He's only won the US Open, like that's quite a pedigree to have, and he doesn't have those other 2. Cameron Young, 22-1.
Good horses.
Oh, that's this is without Scottie though, right? Okay, because I would say he's 30 with.
Yeah. So give me that. He's just nuking it off the tee right now. You said this course has been lengthened a bit. It's ball striker's paradise. I am worried about the irons a smidgen, but his putter he's putting so well right now.
He's in good form
all the time and very well. So I'm happy to take a gamble on the putter doing putters win tournaments. You don't win a tournament with your driver. It helps you get there, but putters take you over the edge. You can gain so many strokes putting, and you can lose them quickly too, so that's why he's kind of a hit or miss situation.
I can't wait for him to get his iron game back. Because remember, this dude was one of the better iron players, especially from like 150 in, for like literally years on tour. Lost it, but when you're putting the way, to your point, I was shocked to see he's basically been top 10 in strokes gained putting this entire season.
All the time. Did
not have that on my bingo card, even like 2 years ago. When he started to slump, because that was what always held him back, was his putter was just so bad. So if he gets the iron game back, like he could be a real challenger for Scottie. Like we've all believed in Cam's talent. You look at a ton of different statistics. Like this dude can ball, and now that he's starting to roll it, it's I think if he can get his iron game back, it really will be a fair matchup between him and Scheffler, because both of them are now like elite putters. They just are. And then they're also, when they got to go on, some of the best tee to green players in the world. So I love that. I do like McIntyre again this week. Again, the Griffin and Young both completely co-sign. McIntyre, I'm probably a sucker, but he's already won. I know he hasn't won in the States. to me, this golf course sets up very well for him. He played pretty well here last year. Like, it was his first start there. I know T17th, but remember, he was starting in the back of the field. More importantly, gained strokes, putting, around the green, approach, off the tee, across the board at this venue in his first try. That's a good sign. So I feel like 35-1 again in a 30-man field. I will say I'm going to go back and look because I think that Byron, like, I didn't even think about that. Like, yeah, just take Scottie out of it, take a little bit of the odds out, and I don't have to worry about him because I was the guy with McIntyre last week to win and made the mistake of actually feeling relatively safe after his third round, thinking, well, he stood up to Scottie, played excellent after a shaky start. We got this, and I forgot that A, Scheffler is the Terminator, and B, these guys know he's the Terminator. And I think it really did get to McIntyre on Sunday, just knowing this guy's not going to go away. He's just going to keep making birdies and keep hitting quality shots. And again, that is Scottie's superpower, is consistency.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's a little Tiger-esque there, so to speak. When guys knew Tiger was near the top of the leaderboard on Sunday, they were going to lose. It was just how it was. And like you said, there's no room for error when Scottie's close by on a Sunday because he's just not going to make that big mistake. And if you do, he's going to capitalize on it. And, you know, I guess that makes for some exciting golf.
Yeah, Scottie's interesting because you can't stand over a golf. Now you can after this chip. But that's the only instance where you can say, hey, watch me, I'm going to hit this like Scottie Scheffler. Because Scottie Scheffler doesn't have that archive of exceptional shots like he pulled off over the weekend. If you're going to say that you're going to play like Scottie Scheffler, you have to say that before every single shot for 4 days straight. Like,
and hit it.
You can't do a Scottie Scheffler unless you're doing it for 72 holes. You know, like, it's impossible. So that's like just he's got no kryptonite. And I have been having nightmares, Keith, of my model. I've got color codes that say player pool, favorite play, neutral, nope. Scottie Scheffler is obviously the price that he was, so he's top of the model. I have no Ted Scott in bright red letter. And I'm eating crow so hard because I thought this was the week to attack Scottie without his caddy. We saw what happened on Sunday, last week, and at the PGA Championship, man. And without the caddy, he was a little lost. But nope, he dominated this week, man. It's insane. So maybe it's just that other caddy that fills in for him. Anyway, long tangent there. But
no, and I mean, this was actually right. Was it Kirk's caddy that he took this week? I think. Yeah. So, like, I mean, I think the time before it wasn't even a real caddy. I mean, it was just somebody. He's like, "Hey, man." It'd be like calling Ryan and being like, "Let me ask you, Ryan, are you available?"
I'm a good caddy. Thank you.
I'm not saying you're not, but you're not a professional caddy. Is my point. And I'd be calling you and be like, "Hey, man, you mind, stepping on the bag?" And any idiot, if Scottie Scheffler calls, knowing, "Hey, I'm gonna probably make a couple hundred G's at worst this week," would be like, "Yeah, I'll carry your bag. I'll shine your shoes. Just let me know what I need to do. I'm there." Yep. The DFS side, or actually, real quick, because I do want to do just some prop stuff. Again, Rory top 5 plus 120 at this venue. I don't think that's terrible value. And you guys are probably going to laugh at me, but Sung J M, 8-1 to top 5, plus 295 to top 10, 30-man field, finished top 7, 2 of his last 3 starts here, which again, I know that can be a little misleading depending on like where they started. What's not misleading? In those 3 years, he's gained almost 6.5 strokes on the field. So he likes this venue. And I understand that a lot of the metrics aren't great, but sometimes it takes playing a venue that you've had a lot of success to kind of get that kickstart, and you're not really getting good prop odds, I feel like, this week with anybody. So getting him at 8-1, where he's got to beat 25 out of 30 guys, and almost 3-1 to beat 20 guys, like, I'll take my chances with that.
You know, it's an interesting thing, Keith, because as you were speaking, I was like, well, he's probably the worst iron player in the field, but he's also the best chipper. Like, he's getting so many opportunities to chip and bunker shot right now because he's missing so many greens that he's embraced it and he leads the tour in around the green play. But it's interesting to think because you're missing a lot of greens here if you're missing fairways anyway, right? So he could be chipping more than most people, but not nearly as much more, than he would at a birdie fest, So maybe there's an avenue there. And again, I'm never going to tell anyone to not bet an 8-1 bet, go for it, like you're barely risking anything there to take a gamble on something that you believe in. So I'm down for you to do that. Just not me.
Any other bets you want to mention, Ryan, before we move on to the little DFS and we'll get to the awards?
Sanjay M is 9-1 on Hard Rock, but also Hard Rock doesn't have it without Scottie this week, so I'm pissed off at them for that.
Yeah, Hard Rock's like, we're not stupid.
Yeah, no, yeah, they're not. That's for sure. The only decent one I thought for me is because I'm just a Straka fan, but 5-1 to top 5 for Sepp is one that I did a small bet on that one.
Love that. On the Georgia grass, he loves the Georgia. We all like to say Georgia, so we're going to say Georgia as much as we can. And speaking about Sepp. And 5-1 solid. 30-man field.
Yeah, exactly. You only got to beat, 20, not beat 25 other guys, but finish in the, top 80% or whatever.
Yeah.
And a UGA guy. So
just down the road. Just
guys
down the
feel
road.
Comfortable like they do in Georgia. They've played a lot of golf in Atlanta. Trust me. Like one of the benefits of being a UGA player is you get to play all the best golf courses in Georgia. I know the head coach at UGA, and he said that's the best perk of being the UGA coach is he also gets to play all the best courses in Georgia. So good for him. On the DFS side, again. It's a tough week. I can't recommend any lineups that are not, in my opinion, single entries and 50-50s. I know that I say that most weeks anyway, but I mean, really, how much, even if you did 150 max entries, say in a quarter pool, how many lineups can you make? I actually don't know with 30. I don't even know if it's enough to fill 150. So just be careful. One way I am differentiating myself this week, I'm leaving a lot of cash on the table, like a lot, like over $1,000, because what other idiots are going to be like, hey, I'm going to leave $1,000 on the table and not take Justin Rose and instead play Sanjay M. And that's kind of my strategy this week. The cash game core, again, I get going with Rory. You couldn't pay me to not take Scheffler in a 30-man field. I think that he is that dog, and he's going, I've won this event, but I've never actually won it, where I've had the lowest score, and I think that's just enough for Scheffler to go out and just maybe dust the field this week. So I love him. I love Harry Hall. I think that's the best value this week. I mean, great tweet by, I think it was Justin Ray. Since May 1st, first strokes gained putting, third scoring average, fourth in birdie or better percentage. And come on, in DK, what are we really looking to? Those last two? I mean, you're third in scoring average, so you're getting the bonus points like per round and at the end of the week. And then fourth in birdie or better, again, that's more bonus points on DK. So I think that's just like a smash play. And then again, I got Sanjay M in most lineups, and I am going to go with Hideki in a lot of them. And I know that's scary. From what I saw, his ownership is down. Another guy that his last 6 starts here, I mean, T15th or better, 5 of them, T11th or better, and 4 of them, T9th or better, 3 of them, and 2 top 5. So I do think that there is a chance he kind of finds his stuff this week. I mean, we've been waiting for Hideki to like wake up and be like, what is going on? You're like the best ball striker in the world, and that has not been the case for most of this year. Again, maybe getting back to a venue that he's had some success at will get that going. So, again, the ones I think you have to have are Scheffler, Hall, and M. But I do like Hideki. I like McIntyre, English. Those are kind of the guys that have been in the most amount of my lineups. Who do you guys like this week for DFS?
Go ahead, Byron.
My 3 outrights I'll go with again. I think Cam Young could get a little ownership-y. That's the reason why I've always disliked him, is he's got a massive cult following, prior to any results. And now that he's won, I'm down to like back him, because I didn't want to be early. It was paying off not to be early on him for a while. I'm down to be on him late now. So I'm down with him. Russell Henley, dog, right? UGA guy. I think also dude, he was on a run of top 10s, and I bet him top 10 twice the last 2 weeks, and he's finished just outside the top 10 both times. Can't bet him top 10 this week. Obviously, there's no market, but I like his chances. I'm not going to be betting him top 10. He's going to finish top 10. It's going to happen. Unlike Hideki, by the way, Keith, he hasn't left Hawaii yet. The guy hasn't had a top 10 since the century.
He wanted to start the season and end the season with top 10s. A nice, clean bow, right? 2 loops.
The Zozo ends his season, by the way. So that's still coming. But, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe he's made it here with just off the laurels of that. He has not had a top 10 since the century. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw it. That's
crazy. I didn't know it's been that long.
So it's because I bet him at the St. Jude, expecting, and then he probably could have contended if he didn't pipe 2 OB on 11 both days.
He seems to do that every round now. It's like, Hideki, what was it? A couple weeks ago, he made triple, I think, like the first round, then went out and shot 67 and made the cut. And it's like, what? We've all started triple and then, shoot 5 under. That's a normal thing.
He's also got an absurd major cut making record. Absurd, but doesn't finish inside the top 20 of majors even, as much as he makes the cuts. He just is there, which is weird. But I'm out on Hideki. Some other guys that I kind of might like is Jacob Bridgman at $6,100. I think he's a valid option down at the bottom there versus Sungjae. We're at least seeing a bit more from him. But you're getting probably a little more ownership in that department too. Because last week, Keith, we had Johnny Vegas unlock Scottie Scheffler. 17% of the field had a Scottie Scheffler, Johnny Vegas lineup. Yep. Who's the 6K guy that does that this week? At 13.9 for Scheffler. Who's the 6K guy that just gets steamed as okay, I'm playing every Scheffler lineup with this dude. He unlocks.
Probably the cheapest, right?
But can you play Novak?
Well, really? That's fair.
He's been playing very bad.
That's fair.
In Bridgman and Im are the next 2 cheapest guys, so they could be quite popular. I don't know. I
like Brian Harmon in that 6,000 range too, just because he's another dog. He's obviously played at this golf course many a times. Has he got the length for the new adjustments? No, but he's a hell of a ball striker, and he's got a great short game, and he can putt the eyes out of it. And I think you can kind of backfill your lineups with, obviously he's at 65 and not 61 or 62, but you can still take the leap with Scheffler and then load Harmon and kind of build back up through there. I like Sam Burns a lot in this too, if you're looking for that kind of second tier guy. I've just been on Burns however long we've been talking about Burns, Keith, and why not Sam to win this tournament?
Bermuda challenge. Burns, don't forget.
That's it.
Dude can get smoking hot on Bermuda greens with the flat stick.
If only Will Zalatoris was playing, we could call him Zoysia Zalatoris.
Zoysia Zal.
Zoysia Zal, there you go, but he's not, so no worries there. And then Ben Griffin's been bet and in every DK lineup for the last couple of months. So I have him in several as well.
Let's just hope he keeps his creatine in check.
He's got somebody dosing his creatine for him now instead of himself.
It just was hilarious. He was acting like it was like a ball of Coke. I'm like, what are you what is happening right now?
It's like taking a shit ton of pre-workout. I mean, you're just.
I thought it was an AI video. Honestly, I was like, this cannot be a real interview that he gave. Where's his publicist going, dude? You could have made up anything. That you're just going to be brutally honest. I respect it, but
he just brought a ton of eyes to him that don't follow golf simply because of that particular interview. Everybody knows who Ben Griffin is now because of the creatine hole.
You do have to wonder how much creatine can a guy really be doing if he looks like me physically. That's all I'm going to say.
You got to do the workout part too when you do the creatine. So
I don't do that either. So maybe I'll just do creatine and get jacked
I would love to see you on creatine, Keith.
We don't have that kind of time, Byron. We don't have that kind of time.
You think you can't get me to shut up now? Get me on creatine.
You have jaw muscles that would make you look like the guy from the sitcom, the cartoons.
His jaw muscles would be so ripped.
It'd be awesome. and my
goodness.
thumbs from tweeting and stuff. So
Yeah,
it's
there
good to
you
see I
go.
get Jack somewhere. So yeah, good luck this week. Real quick, because Kyle, appreciate you joining us. He wants to know, because he's always wanting to
Yep.
check on those Canadians. Any love for Nick Taylor or Corey Connors this week?
I like Nick Taylor. I think he's cheap, and if you think about a good iron player, he's also pretty accurate. So he could ball strike this place to death, but he's also been playing like total ass, but he's also $6,300 that can win any given tournament. As long as he makes the playoff, you can chalk that down as a W. So he's amazing, and I think if you're looking to make 1 week of Hail Mary play, like he's there. So lowest owned option, I think, in that range too, not named Andrew.
That was what I was about to ask, because I'm assuming his ownership will be low, which I may have to make some tweaks. I think you taught me how to Hideki, which is a good thing, because he was the one that I was like, are we really going here based on, what he's done at this golf course when it's technically not the same course? So
I also told someone in my Discord not to play Justin Rose or bet him at the BMW Championship. So, take that with a grain of salt.
Shoot or shoot.
Shoot or shoot, baby.
Don't forget that. And as I always tell people, never wrong, just early or late, depending on, what the situation is.
Yeah.
So I did want to do, though, since this is the last episode and we don't really get to just talk golf, I wanted to do some awards, because 2025 has been a year in golf. Like, honestly, one of the more memorable seasons I can think of. Like going back a while, like maybe Tiger in 2019, like that year was fun, but I mean, it just seemed like every week there was something. And again, with all the defectors, people who want to hate whatever about the Live Tour, a lot of big names left, and it's really remarkable. The PGA Tour is now gaining viewership again, like week in and week out without those guys. I think it's like the ultimate, told you, the game's bigger than you are moment. And we've been rewarded for it. The golfer of the year, we know it's Scottie. Okay, like how do you think you feel being Rory? I won 3 times by the middle of April, completed the career Grand Slam, and everybody's like, "No, I'm sorry, bro, you're definitely not the golfer of the year." It's not like the discussion last year, right, between Xander and Scottie, where it's like there was real merit. Like I could understand both arguments. This is just, sorry, Rory. Too bad, too sad. I do want to know, though, like 24 months, back-to-back 5+ win seasons. Only Tiger has done that, I believe, in the last 40 years, which is nuts. And then he joined like Jack, Arnie, and Tiger again. It's the only guys to win 12 times, 3+ majors in a 24-month span. Where have you kind of like readjusted Scottie's ceiling?
Go ahead.
I kind of calculated it out very loosely. I mean, can he get to 15 majors? That's just 1 major a year, given he stay. All this is obviously if he stays healthy. That's the big asterisk on all this. I mean, if he can win a major, I mean, he's 29 years old. So let's say he's got 15 more good years of golf. A lot of guys even hit their second win when they start playing in their 40s. So could he get to 15 majors? All he's got to do is win 1 major every year for the next 15 years, and he can certainly get there. Will there be years he doesn't? Well, I guess that's yet to be seen. But I think that's 10 majors, that seems like almost a given. Should he stay healthy? But I could see him getting to 15. I could see him, it's hard to win multiple tournaments every year. But I mean, if he can win at least 2 a year, 3 a year, he's up there around that 70, 75 total tournaments, by the time 15 years rolls around. So that's, in my opinion, kind of where I see Scheffler's ceiling at a little bit.
Yeah, it's absurd. I think you're going to see 5 green jackets in his closet by the end of his career. I was thinking he was going to just win 5 green jackets for a while.
Yeah, the Masters was just going to be his thing. Yeah.
I think he could win that every other year and maybe sneak another major in on the other years. Or, that's the thing. He's got like not a free square, but he's got such a nice runway to the major years, starting at a golf course that is like tailor-made for the world's best golfer. he finished fourth with a hand that Rory
There
McIlroy
you
could
go.
put in a Hall of Fame next to the green jacket. You know, that ravioli knife. It was perfect for Rory. And
There
I
needs to
think,
be an asterisk, right? Like, and I'm not even joking. Like, there needs to be an asterisk that the best player in the game was recovering from a pasta injury.
yes. Well, I wouldn't say an asterisk, Keith. I would say, like, if everything's bold, you just like the Y of
There you go. Okay, that's
McIlroy
fair. Yeah, I'm
needs
not
to
trying
be
to
like
hate on Rory. I'm just saying
unbolded.
it needs to be brought up because it is significant. Like, I
Yeah.
truly, especially with the way Rory's final round went, like, I just can't believe if Scheffler was there in contention, I think Rory would have collapsed. I really do.
Well, Scottie would have capitalized on the crap that Rory
Right.
was doing down
Yeah.
the stretch, you know,
No
if he
doubt.
was in the mix. It's crazy. And also to add to Scottie's ceiling, the two best golfers in the world since the start of May is Scottie Scheffler and Tommy Fleetwood. Strokes gained wise. One has 5 wins, the other one doesn't. Like, have a single win. You know, like, there's an art to winning and an art to putting your strokes gained into the history books. And Scottie, when last did Scottie throw a tournament away?
I don't think he has.
You know, like, every time he's had the lead going into Sunday, he's closed that out. And anytime he's within a couple strokes, he's contending. I think the most recent one was like the St. Jude. But he was never really in it,
Right.
you know, like,
Yep.
Yeah.
but he still finished like 6th or something. Or it's just absurd, you know, like, when he's in the moment, he capitalizes on every opportunity he gets, you know, whereas if Tommy had his savagery, I think Tommy's got like 7 PGA Tour wins, you know, like, I don't know. It's crazy to think about.
All right. You know, I don't like being outdone. So, first of all, let me say that we are so lucky as golf fans. We got to see, especially people like our age, because we got to grow up with Tiger. I never thought I'd see anything near that again. And it is undoubtedly now that, like, Scottie Scheffler is on that kind of run. Now, granted, it's only for the last 24 months, but it's as good as any 24-month period the Tigers had. And I'm including the Tiger Slam because it's just the consistency, like, week in and week out. It's even more consistent than Tiger. Tiger was a deal where if he drove it well, it was over. With Scheffler, it's really just like if he gets off to a good start, it's over, period, because all parts of his game are so good. I think it's within the realm of possibility he has an actual Grand Slam, not a Tiger Slam or a Scottie Slam. I'm talking about real deal. I win all 4 majors in one season. You go back to 2020. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 top 8 finishes in majors. He's done at least 3 of them, like, in each major. And in the last 2 years, 1st, 8th, 41st, 7th, 4th, 1st, 7th, 1st. He's not even been playing that long. Like, that's what's scary. He just started playing in majors in 2020. He has not even truly perfected his ability to, in my opinion, use his persona, his swagger, just being Scottie Scheffler to just demoralize people. But that's coming. If he keeps winning at this rate,
right now,
it's going to continue to get worse. Just like it did with Tiger, where people just go, it's over. He didn't even have to do anything. Like Tiger and Jack talk about it all the time. A lot of times, they didn't have to do anything. They didn't have to play great. They just said, we basically didn't make mistakes, and everybody would just fold around us. And Robert McIntyre's had a great season. What did he do this week? He just folded. Like, it's going to happen more and more. And I think it is in legit play for this guy to win 4 majors in a year because he's so young. He's already so good. His game is tailor-made for everywhere. Like, it doesn't matter what venue you're at. Everybody said, oh, the Open will be tough for him. Yeah, that took, just for the record, the one that's tough, he's had 3 top 8 finishes, and his worst finish is 23rd, okay? So that's his quote-unquote tough venue. And I'm with Byron. He's going to just keep winning Augusta. And I can't believe he's not going to win a U.S. Open. To me, that would be the major that I would have assumed originally outside of Augusta. Well, that's a layup. He's going to win a U.S. Open because he'll just ball strike people to death. And now he's putting well. And I think the sky's the limit. And I never thought I would say that. I never thought I would compare anyone to like peak Tiger. And again, he's got to do it a lot longer to truly compare to peak Tiger. But like in this moment, if we're just talking a 24-month window, as good as I've ever seen, and Ryan's mentioned this before, because of his off the course stuff just being so put together, and he seems to be such a well-rounded, like good space in between the ears guy. I think that's an advantage for him. And his swing, we mock his feet. That probably takes a lot of pressure off the back. It's got to. Like his feet are off the ground at impact. That is, I promise you, taking a lot of that impact off the back and lower body, which that's where normally golfers break down if they do, right?
Your torque in your lower back and your hips is not as significant because you're releasing a lot of that pressure. But yeah, I mean, he's just built for longevity, and he just doesn't make mistakes, and arguably one of the most consistent golfers we've pretty much ever seen. Again, it's a short period of time right now, but it's still happening, and it's going this way, not this way. It continues to get better, and he continues to play better golf over and over again.
He's only had the mallet for what, 14 months?
Right.
You know, like that's when I will never forget the scene of Rory and Amanda at the Genesis. Like that is one of the most memorable post-round interviews that makes no sense why I remember it, but it makes complete sense because it was pivotal.
It's what I say. Rory doesn't have that killer instinct, and that proves it. There's no way Tiger.
There you go,
Jack,
Scotty. Become a better putter.
No way Tiger or Jack to any guy in their universe that they think is a threat. They're going to go, you know what I think would help you, bro? You're the worst putter on tour. Otherwise, you'd be winning every week. Have you tried this mallet putter? It saved my life. Again, it says so much about Rory as a human being. Do not get me wrong.
That's fair, yeah.
But there's a difference between human being and wanting to be the best at something. Like, not great at something, but like that guy. Yeah, I don't even know if Scheffler would do that. I really don't. Like, I don't know if he would just offer that up. I'm not saying he wouldn't give it to somebody if they in a private moment asked for her, but not just like, hey, Amanda, you know what? This guy can't putt to save a lick. You know what would really help him? It's shocking. What young player, next question, grabbed your attention this year?
That's easy for me. Ben Griffin.
Ooh.
Super easy. Ben Griffin's. I've become a very big Ben Griffin fan. If you would have asked me last year this question, I would have said Jake Knapp. This year, Ben Griffin for sure. For sure for me. He's just obviously the creatine thing kind of added to his aura, as the kids say. But I love the way he plays golf. I love the way he carries himself. He's a guy that I can root for and feel like I'm engaging with him. I don't know. But Ben Griffin would be my answer for that one.
Aldrich Potgieter is 20 years old. Just won on PGA Tour. Lost in... We'll chat about that later on in the questioning. Ultra talented. He's got a skill set that you cannot teach. He has the abilities that you can only refine, and those have not been refined yet. And when he learns how to chip, he's going to be a menace because he's got overwhelming power. Overwhelming power.
Ball speed
20
is
years old. And it's effortless. It was insane.
And he's fearless, which is what we've seen this year. Is to be 20 and just I'm blown away by him. He seems unreal, and I don't understand why it's always these South Africans that have all this talent, like just at their fingertips, like Goosen, Els, like that. Yep.
There's got all these guys that just nuke it off the tee.
It's unreal. For me, it's kind of a cheat, but he did play in a PGA Tour event this year. This kid just won a U.S. Amateur. They've been playing the U.S. Amateur forever. He's the youngest by far to ever do it, and that's Miles Russell. 16 years old. I don't think people truly comprehend. I've been really disappointed. I haven't seen a lot about this. The U.S. Amateur is over 100 years old.
Yeah.
And again, 18 was the youngest champ. This kid is 16. And it's I've always said Tiger's most impressive feat is not the Tiger Slam or all this other stuff. He won 3 junior AMs and then 3 US AMs back to back to back to back to back to back to back. And you have match play every year. And anybody who's ever played match play or even understands how it works knows you can outplay somebody and lose very easy in match play, unlike you can in a stroke play event. So for him to be 16 years old, and not to mention to go through like the guys that he went through to get there, I can't wait to see it. He caught my attention when I believe it was a U.S. Open qualifier.
Yeah.
He shot like 61 at Piedmont Driving Club, which, again, I've been fortunate to play Piedmont Driving Club. That is a ridiculously difficult golf course. I'm like, a 16-year-old shot 61? Like, fuck him. Are you serious? Like, what was he playing, a scramble? Like, what is going on? So I'm very excited to see what happens with him next. He's going to UGA, which obviously go Dogs. I am ecstatic about that. And I have a feeling by the time he's 19, 20, like a lot of these other guys, he will be on the tour and making noise because he is very slight right now. And one thing that you learn is, whether it be in college or as these guys turn pro, they all live by the Tiger motto now. We're going to get bigger, stronger. Wait till this kid gets some muscle on him because he's already hitting it like elite distance for his age. And when he gets a little meat on him, like, I think he's going to be unreal, right?
Where'd you say Miles was going?
UGA, right?
FSU.
Is it really?
Yeah, when you said that, I was like, huh, UGA.
Yeah, I get it confused. So, wait a minute. So, who was... I thought it was the 2 young dudes. Both were going to UGA.
Blades Brown is the one. Is he the one that went to go to Georgia? I just know Miles is because I talked to Trey about that one. I texted once I heard that they got him. I was like, how did you pull off Miles Russell? He's like, it wasn't that hard. I said, well, good for you. Maybe that'll bring you a national championship for the first
Why are
time.
you going to bring me down, Ryan?
I'm just fact checking. That's all. Because I heard you say UGA. I was like, I'm pretty sure you went to FSU. So I had to double check myself first. But yeah,
and you are right. And what's disappointing is he's from Georgia.
Hey, a lot of people are from Georgia, right?
I'll come to your save here, Keith, and say to Ryan.
I wasn't throwing shade. I was just fact checking. That's all.
Your young player that grabbed your attention is 29 years old, sir.
I know. He's younger than me, though, so everybody's younger.
Okay.
Everybody's younger.
Well, he's just not in his 30s. So.
True. He's the same age as Scheffler, which is insane.
I would give anything to be in my 30s still, so I can't say anything. Comeback player of the year. For me, we were talking about him earlier. It's Cam Young. Like, I was worried that dude was done. I mean, right? Because he was Tommy Fleetwood. I know not to the extent and as long, but couldn't get over the hump. And then on top of that, his game, like not only his game, like he's all skinny and looked weird. And I'm like, what is going on? Like about a year and a half ago with Cam Young, all of his numbers started dipping. And then not only did he come back and play well, he got a W after I had made the rule that I'm not falling for it. Cam Young's got to win before I bet him again. You guys are a sucker. Yeah, this is like the Fleetwood rant, which has turned out right, but of course the Cam Young one was wrong. And I'm happy for him because I do. I think that he, again, if he can figure it out talent-wise, especially now with putting, there's very few guys like not named Scottie Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, who can do all the things that Cam Young can do.
Yeah, that's a good one. Byron, you want to go? You want me to go?
You go ahead. I'm looking something up quickly.
I have a 1A and a 1B. My 1A is Rory McIlroy, not from year to year, but because he went so long between winning majors, and obviously he completed the career Grand Slam, which we've already beat that point to death. So I had Rory as 1A, and then I had Justin Rose as 1B. Not because he had an injury or anything like that, but he's just kind of had a resurgence this year. Obviously, he always plays well in the Ryder Cup, but to see him, he's been in contention in several tournaments. And then a few weeks ago when he won the Memphis, that was pretty cool to see if you're a Justin Rose fan.
Validation for turning down that live money.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Legacy-wise, he is going to be a big winner. Because, again, I think the guys that left for live, ultimately, their legacy does take a hit.
Oh, yeah.
Rose stayed. A lot of people are going, you're 40-something years old. Why are you not taking the bag? And he's going, because I can still compete. I believe that. And he's proved everybody right. Like, that, like I can still compete. So I think that's a great one.
Yeah, he's going to be fun in the Ryder Cup, that's for sure. Not for us, but
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I love Justin Rose. I love him. He's such a competitor, man.
He is.
And with minimal attributes. That
Yes.
like
he has to outwork everybody.
Yeah.
His part in the what was I said the inside drive, the full swing in the one season he was a part of was really cool to kind of see all the behind the scenes stuff with him and how he's talking to his fan about he can still win, he can still compete, and he just wants to outwork everybody. So big fan of Justin Rose.
If you take his like strokes gained majors versus his strokes gained normal tournaments,
yeah,
it's it's literally a switch he flips, like the game is the same all the time. He just does it. So we'll see. And you mentioned guys that went to live that this is going to be a weird one for comeback player of the year, but I'm going to say Bryson DeChambeau.
Oh yeah.
And it's kind of stemming off of the US Open. I mean, the US Open can't come back from that, but just like the way he's come back from purgatory of fans, like he's endeared himself to so many people. He has his first top 20 at the Open Championship that is now a top 5.
I never thought that would happen with how high he hit the ball and controlling
the
spin.
Masters. He showed up there, this year. So from a major perspective, he really shattered a couple ceilings or barriers that he's struggled with at 2 venues that we always thought were going to, be his bugaboo going forward. And he's shown that he now has the ability. Now, were conditions placid for the final 3 days of the time that he stormed up the leaderboard at the Open Championship? It's kind of like the Colin Morikawa Open that he won, right? Like, wasn't really quite an open conditions, and I had Bryson not top 20 heavily invested that week, and it broke my heart for that comeback. But anyway, Bryson DeChambeau, comeback player of the year.
I like that.
I love it. And again, like, I'm just happy for him because he's weird, right? Like, but I think that Bryson does love the game, and I think he's very smart, and that intimidates people. Like, it really does. And I think it's cool that through YouTube, people have realized, okay, this dude is a little weird, but you know what? He's an all right guy. And that's why I wish, again, the PGA Tour would do more of the stuff that like he's doing on YouTube during telecasts instead of listening to the announcers talk about a 15-foot putt for 5 minutes while a guy reads it. Like there's other ways to spend the time, and Bryson is a perfect example of how we can kind of rebuild our persona or rebuild, how these athletes are viewed, because a lot of golfers are just looked at boring, and I don't think that's unfair with the way the coverage and everything is week to week. Favorite moment. This is giving away that I hit the driver about 220, 230 these days off the tee, but watching Brian Campbell beat Pogacar at the Mexico Open despite literally giving up 60, 70 yards off every tee is truly one of the most remarkable things I've ever seen. Because I don't feel like Pogacar played bad in that final round. I really don't. I just think Campbell outplayed him. And I don't think people understand, like, think about 60 to 70 yards. That's like 200 feet on every hole. He was basically a football field in front of him, and somehow he beat him head to head, which I just thought was remarkable. And again, as a short knocker, it's nice to be reminded that there's a reason they say drive for show, putt for dough. It still stands all these years later.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was a pretty wild one, that's for sure. My favorite moment was one single putt during the season, and we mentioned this guy earlier. That was JJ Spawn dropping that bomb to win the U.S. Open after obviously losing the Players to Rory in the playoff, and then obviously he lost another playoff the other day. But watching that putt was just one of the coolest things for a guy that you just love to root for. And obviously to win a major championship that way is pretty special too. So that was my favorite moment of this past season. There's a lot of great moments from this season, but that one kind of just stuck out in my head.
The 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 stretch that Scottie had at the PGA Championship to close out Saturday, that is some of the best golf we'll ever like. That 4 or 5 hole stretch it's probably one of the best stretches of golf anyone's ever played. Like the shots he hit in some of those conditions that needed that I've got goosebumps just speaking about that stretch.
Dude, so I was about to say the same thing. I got goosebumps just thinking about.
You know
like,
how
that
hard it
tee
was
shot
to
he hit.
hold that green on 17.
Yes,
You know, like
so I was just
you
about
got to
to
hit
say.
it on the roof of a car to stop it where you need it, and he did. You know, like 4 or 5 holes in a row. It sealed the tournament, and it felt like he turned a Saturday afternoon that was kind of boring into what felt like the final couple holes of a Sunday just by playing the way he did. You know, that was absurd.
And a brutal stretch of golf holes too. That
So
back
hard.
9 at Quail is insane. That's a good one.
It's a great one. It's also I loved your analogy. I think we talked like right after this where you said that it was just a reminder that Scheffler has different gears than everybody else because John Rahm, right, was like redlining, trying to catch Scottie, and what happened? He leaked all over that back 9. While Scheffler's just like, I'm just going to cruise, I'm just going to keep cruising and see if you guys can catch me. And that is, to me, like the perfect analogy of like what makes Scheffler so great is he doesn't have to press. He doesn't have to hit another gear. His normal third gear is just so freaking good. And that's also a moment where I feel like the crowd really got behind him. Like those roars were unreal, and it shook Bryson. It shook a bunch of people that were out on that back 9 and could hear him.
Yeah, awesome stuff.
Yeah.
We've had some pretty good best calls this year. Byron, I know you've had a crap ton. Which one do you think was your best call?
Hitting a 350 to 1 Cristobal del Solar first round leader at the RBC Canadian Open.
That is sick. I did not even know that.
He's my boy. I've been betting him at 500. On my show, I actually said it was a 500. It was a 501 to bet, but I bet it after the show and it went to 350. But he needed to make one of 2 12-foot putts, 9-foot putts on the final 2 holes. He made one of them. He's a solo leader, but he still cashed it was a 100-unit play. I haven't made a 100-unit play ever. And it was the only one I've ever made, and he cashed it, man. It saved my season so badly. It was such a bad year for me. So Cristobal del Solar, he's absurdly good on Thursdays versus the rest of his rounds. You must go check his profile out. It's nuts.
Ryan's been talking about for a while that's kind of where the value is moving in betting. If you look at it, for especially people like you, right, who are really diving into the numbers and understand what people shoot, each round, etc. Who gets off to a good start, who doesn't. You can get some crazy odds on first round leaders that like you'd never even get for a tournament winner these days because those odds used to be really great, and now I guess all those sports books don't want us to have any fun.
Womp womp, but that's why you listen to these shows.
I hear that womp womp quite a bit around this place. Mine's not as sexy as that one. Mine just was a simple to win. And of course, it was with my boy Sepp Straka at the Truist when he was 40 to 1 to win. And I did a 5-time unit bet, 25 to win 1,000. So that was the highlight of my best call of golf this year.
Called it. Love it.
My best call, which is no surprise if you've been following my golf stuff for a while, because probably my best call ever was Brian Harman at the Open Championship a few years ago. Ryan can back it up. I went on his show and said, I'm taking Brian Harman to win this. That's who's winning the Open. And they're all going, are you smoking crack? And I'm like, no, less than driver course. And sure enough, Texas Open this year, I'm going, this is another course that really kind of plays to Harman's, skill set. Again, the win, which he's always played very well in the win because he can hit all those different shots. And lo and behold, I think he was 75 to 1 at the beginning of that week. That was my biggest win this year. And again, that's why Brian Harman's my dude. Is because now probably 2 of my greatest calls ever have been by him. And he's a Bulldog, so go Dogs again. Worst bad beat this season.
I couldn't really think of any. I'm sure there's a million.
No, yes, you could. You had a U.S. Amateur one, if you do not remember, for low amateur, where you floated a name and he immediately nosedived. Was it at Augusta or the U.S. Open? Because you were texting us, and I'm like, what happened to your boy?
Open. I think it was at the Open. Okay, so yeah, you remember mine and I don't. Yeah, that was God, who was that? That might have been the guy from FSU or the guy from Auburn, Koivun, or what's the other guy's name? Gosh darn it.
Who, Clan?
Yes. It might have been Clanton, and he just exploded in the Thursday and Friday rounds and missed the cut by about 1 million.
I'm gonna look that up because that's my fault. I figured Ryan would actually remember that because
I don't remember as well as I used to.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you have brain surgery again, you get
a
an
lot
excuse.
more than I used to.
Exactly. So, but I just mean I would have actually, helped you out there and been like,
No, I should
when you
have.
said you couldn't. But I literally remember Ryan saying so and so got him at like 20-1 for low amateur, and he played the last 10 holes at like 15 over. And I mean, it was just like, wait a minute, he didn't even make the cut. What happened?
That was the bounce back from Neil Shipley being the low amateur at the Masters for me. That paid off nicely too.
Ooh, nice.
My bad beat was last week. I still cannot believe Robin McIntyre did not win that event.
That's fresh on the brain.
Only because it's Saturday, right? Like if it wasn't for Saturday, I wouldn't feel like this was that bad of a beat. But like after watching him Saturday and the way he came back, I'm like, dude, it's a 5-shot lead. Like all he's got to do, and I was right, was shoot like 2 under.
Level pot.
Yeah, and it's a walk. And of course, instead, he didn't make a birdie. And shot like 3 over. So I consider that pretty rough. When you have him 50-1 plus my biggest wager last week with Scottie Scheffler
when you wake up on
to
Sunday
top 5,
morning.
right? At minus 225, I told everybody, look, let's just bet a full unit. Scheffler's finished top 8, and I was like, man, I'm going to actually hit the double here. And then Scottie just absolutely ripped my heart out. So that's okay. But I thought that was a pretty bad beat. Byron, what's yours?
I'm going to cheat and say that I'll start with the first one. It was Aldrich losing to Brian Campbell in Mexico after Brian hit an OB in the playoff. Like that should have been like shaking hands, like it's out of bounds off the tee. You 2 shots back, you hit it 270 yards. You're done. No, I think it bounced forward off those trees out of there. That was my first of 4 playoff losses I've had this year. I mean, 5 playoffs. I've lost 4 of those with my guy in the mix. The only one I've won was when Aldrich and Max Griesemann were in the same playoff versus Chris Kirk, who completely blew it. But he had a couple putts to break my heart. I knew it was going to happen again. It didn't. But some bad playoff losses.
Playoffs are so tough in golf. It's funny how some guys are great at them and others are not. Yeah, I mean, I always think of the Tiger Furyk or the Tiger L's at the Century all those years back, where poor Ernie was like, I gave him all I had. Tiger's just like, sorry, bro, that's not good enough for me, or as Hogan would say, not going to work for me, brother. I do just want to say, because we went through all those awards and stuff, I can't believe we didn't bring up Rory completing. How about we'll do this? I will say shot of the year. And I know you said, Scheffler's back 9. Rory shots on 15, 17? And then in the first playoff, I think are 3 of the best shots you'll ever see, especially 15 and 17, which were just like, what the hell just happened? Both times near trees. And he's just like, I'll just hit moon balls to like 5 feet. And in the most Rory, fashion possible, did he miss both putts?
On 18, yeah.
Well, no, I'm talking about he missed the putt, I know, on 17, right? Or did he make that one?
For some reason, I thought he made it, but again, my memory.
And I'm pretty sure he 2-putted the par 5 for birdie.
Oh, he definitely birdied the par 5.
Yeah.
But I'm saying he hit that close for eagle, and I think he missed the putt.
I think he missed it, pushed it out.
And then made the birdie.
Yeah.
And then I think he did the same thing on 17 after stuffing it.
I think you're right, because I remember being like, oh my God, he's not going to do it again. And then, and then 18,
he kept
can do
it short of the flag, right? Out of the trees there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he missed that one. Yeah.
It's a back left hole.
He also chipped one in the water on 15.
Yes.
And then butchered 17. Yep. 2 holes later, he made a double from the back of the green.
Again, if Scottie was in that, like you said, Keith, not with the coming off the pasta injury, probably we still talking about Rory trying to win Augusta.
Man, this has been so much fun. I am not lying when I say that Byron is just the man.
Model maniac.
One of my favorite things about this golf season, hands down, was getting to know this dude. Not only is he brilliant, and I don't totally understand sometimes where he gets his numbers and stuff from, because that's not really the kind of guy I am.
You're not
He's an even better person, because I mean, it's just, again, today I texted him and was like, hey man, we're going to do like some awards and stuff. I know, again, it's last minute, but would you be willing to come on? And he's just so nice. He's like, yeah, sure, I'm in. So we're very fortunate to have you on. Is there anything you want to plug or anything before you get out of here, buddy?
No, I just want to plug you, Keith. It's been awesome getting to meet you. It's been, fun chatting to you off the course, off the screen. Won't just jump in for anybody. I really appreciate what you contribute to the world, and Ryan as the co-host of a great show that I enjoy listening to. Another year in the books, baby. So it's been awesome creating content with you guys. Let's do it again next year.
How much football do you get into, like DFS and stuff?
Yeah, I'll be in a bit. I think I'm just gonna make my golf subscription in my Discord, the Modern Maniac Discord, like just be NFL as well. So if you're in there for PGA, I have like a whole bunch of the data. I just need to create some stuff. I'll do that this week when we got some downtime.
We need to link up then, because I do cheat sheets and stuff during the NFL season, and like, again, I actually think I'm better at NFL, but it's it's getting harder. Like, it is, like, to where I think there is a bigger edge in golf than there is in NFL. And it reminds me a lot of NBA, where like NBA used to be, I think, something where like you could have a real edge. And now, dude, it's like impossible to cash, even in cash games in NBA. And I'm worried that's where NFL's heading. So that's why I'll always be here. Ryan, big week again, start of the Inside Drive podcast. Please let everybody know like where they can find that, and let's make sure we get all those subs and stuff up for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's for the Facebook's tricky. So it's like 60 days until you can start having a live stream through a business page. So currently it'll be streaming just through my regular Facebook page, but also starting on Thursday, it'll be streaming on our YouTube page. It's just at the Inside Drive podcast, just like it says on the screen right there. And then we'll also be, we'll have the actual recordings on, Apple, Spotify, all the major podcast places. So putting out a lot of fun content. It's pretty much just like my radio show, but just a lot more condensed. And I have a lot of local flavor.
Well, if you could get me to shut, I was going to say, if you get me to shut up, it's going to be condensed, but otherwise, maybe not.
But it's also very local flavor. I talk a lot of high school, middle school, youth sports right here in Bay County, Florida. So I try to, we have a lot of fun too, Keith, as you know. We talk about all sorts of crazy stuff. And actually got Jay coming on Thursday. So I'm looking forward to that. Dude,
I can't wait for that. I took a drive-by today in the show, Byron, where the original co-host of the Inside Drive finds out I'm a Falcons fan and just starts saying 28-3. And I'm like, what the hell, man? That's like picking on somebody with a disability. I'm a Falcons fan. Like, what did I do?
Undeserving.
Right?
Undeserving.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. But again, we truly appreciate all the support and everything. Kyle, that is very kind words, man. We appreciate you. Again, Byron, you're the man. Anything you ever need, you got a friend in me, as what's his name, Woody would say.
We need an outro song,
dude. I'm working on that. I promise you. Next year we will have some music. But I love doing this show because of the people that I get to do it with. It's just makes it awesome. So we appreciate you guys. I hope y'all have one more winning week. But again, go easy with your bets at TK. It's a 30-field event. You might need to go into Gamblers Anonymous or something if you're going a little wild with this. Like, go do some horse betting or something. So we will see you guys soon. Have a great one. Check out all the great stuff on fantasysixpack.net. See you.